Good morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m., October 10th. Market went down, gapped down because of the war. Came down basically and needed to have more liquidity to fuel a move higher, right? So that's really what happened. There was some Fed speak yesterday that they talked about yields getting so high that they might not have to do another rate hike, or they'll be cautious of creating more, raising the interest rates. So the market like that, okay? And the market needed liquidity to go higher, which means that you need some sellers to show up in the market in order to move higher. And that's exactly what happened. And pre-market, I talked about the ES in the Nasdaq, what they had to hold in order for to see strength back in the market, and they did that. So that kind of came to fruition. I had a pretty nice trade in AMD. AMD got support at 105, and that was a pretty nice trade. I was waiting for a late day breakout. If you look at AMD, it literally, consolidated at the highs, and I was waiting for that breakout, and it just never came. So, still a good trade. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand levels, gamma exposure levels, and the rolling wash traded price of the year, the week, and the month. Okay, and I use the day, actually, to find structure in the market, right? So this keeps me on the right side. I want to be with strength. I don't want to fight what's going on in the market. Okay, that doesn't mean there's shorts and longs can be had every day, but you kind of want to be on the right side, right? I'd rather be going with the trend than swimming upstream. Okay, so of course, subscribe, set an alert. All right. Always, if you enjoy what I got, what I'm saying, makes sense, give me a like. That'd be much appreciated. You could always follow me on Twitter, or used to be Twitter, X now, it's at Gonzo719. Okay, so we can get right into this. All right, we can get right into the futures. And let's see what we have going on here. All right, so times of war, people flock to the metal, the yellow metal, gold. So gold actually came down to some key levels. So very interesting when you have, yes, I think the dollar was up and gold was up, but that's just because of war. Okay, the VIX is still high, 17. 16 VIX is a 1% expected daily move. Okay, that's up 0.23. The Dow is up 0.12. ES is flat. NQ is flat. 10-year yield should rise because 30-year bonds are being sold again. So the dollar is pretty much flat. Now remember that 105.88 is a key support level. Ether is flat. Russell is pretty much flat. Silver is down 0.2. Crude is down 0.25. Bitcoin is down 0.36. 30-year bonds, as I said before, are down 0.53, which should raise the 10-year yield. Okay. Now, moving on. Let's go to our stocks I like to day trade, swing trades, etc. Baba's up 1.15%. Microsoft, I'm seeing that they're going to produce an AI chip, which is interesting, right? Boeing's got positive news. We got war, all right? Boeing's been getting beat down, okay? That might turn into something, all right? Not sure. I'm going to wait for some. Boeing's got some work to do. That could be a possible candidate later on, okay? Um, let's see here. Let's go with some laggards here, okay? AMD, all right? AMD's down 0.25. Coin actually got a price target lowered, okay? AMD actually got a price target lowered to 120. Tesla got price cuts target lowered to 250. On a couple different firms lowered Tesla. Okay, now Tesla has been doing some price cuts. They actually said Tesla's almost equal to a gas-powered car. they've stated that they're not worried about profit margins. They're worried about they want to make more of a market share. Okay, that's what they've been saying. All right, let's go to top sector stocks. Okay, PepsiCo. PepsiCo reported earnings and they got beats. All right, they're up 1.05%. Basically, their price raises, and all their snacks and stuff like that have obviously made them more profit. Okay, followed by McDonald's. If you look at McDonald's, McDonald's was beaten down. I'm eyeing that. I'm eyeing that. Okay, that is a discretionary stock, but it's a very safe stock. Okay, um, let's go to some laggards. There's not much to speak of here. Just Qualcomm, down 0.27. Okay, and let's go to sectors. Sectors. What do we have? Industrials. That's Boeing, right? Up 0.21. And Staples. Remember, I said Staples have been beaten down. Okay, Staples. PepsiCo is a large holding in Staples. All right. Followed by energy, and the laggard only is utilities, which is getting beaten down. It's another defensive that's been beaten down. Now, why is that beaten down? It's because interest rates, the yields on the bond market. Okay, you can get a better yield there than a dividend yield on those stocks, which usually give a good dividend yield. So that's why some pressure is on those stocks. Okay, but they're getting beaten down, right? So sector rotation, I talked about that yesterday. Now, let's get into some market news. I don't think there's much to report. We got an economic calendar here. So we have Fed speak today. We had Fed speak yesterday. Fed Bostic. We got at 9:30, right at the market open. We got Fed Waller. We got Kashkari and Daly today. Okay. Tomorrow is PPI. That's what we're looking at there. All right. Let me see here. Let's see here. If anything else that I'm not talking about, not really. Talked about PepsiCo. Now we do have for the week. You can look at this real quick. All right, we do have PepsiCo before the open, and we do have this week. We have Delta on Thursday, pre-market. Domino's Pizza, pre-market. Okay, we have what else do we have here? The big ones. JP Morgan. Okay, so we got bank earnings on Friday. All right, along with United Healthcare. So we have JP Morgan, BlackRock, Citibank, Wells Fargo, PNC. Okay, so that's a pretty big day for financials. Now financials have been weak. If they beat, all right, expect a little rise in financials. Okay, now financials have been weak, like I said the other day. You need financials and discretionary, okay, and healthcare to start moving. The overall breadth in the SPY is not very strong. Okay, tech, yes, it is. Talked about that. All right. All right. We can get right into the daily charts now. Not sure who on here watched my volume profile lesson or yesterday talking about the sectors. Hopefully that made sense to whoever saw that. I like that top-down approach, and then just things make sense, right? You don't have to guess at anything. Okay, so let's just we know we broke a downtrend here. We know we held the 200-day moving average, so we could zoom in a little bit here on the SPY. Okay, now we got my express chart here. So the orange is always a previous week's highs and lows. So look what we did yesterday. We closed above last week's highs. All right, we're still at this key level, this 432. And we still have the gap here. Okay, You need to break this 432. We're still under the 20-day simple moving average. You need to break this, okay? And you need to break this, which will take out these shorts, right? These shorts are still in the game here. So you need to break that and hold it to push to fill that gap. Probably tag the 100-day moving average. Okay, where are we at now? 432.20. We're right at pretty much at yesterday's highs. Okay. And I lost my train of thought. My daughter was talking to me. Yeah, we could possibly go to 438, 439, 438, 439. Fill that gap, right? So the gap fill would almost, you basically tag the 100-day moving average. Okay, that's a possibility. Now, let's move on to those Qs. Okay, Qs, we know, in an uptrend, right? We know that they're strong. Very strong, okay? Let's zoom in. What do? So obviously you took out all these shorts, which is a different story, and you filled the gap, right? Now, what did we do yesterday? Well, we closed above last week's highs, almost touching the 50-day moving average. Okay, now your next destination, I don't know if you just rip through this 50-day moving average. Typically, you hit it, maybe go past it and like go under it, or you just go above it, right? And then it plays games for a little bit. But the next level I would probably look at is this level here, 371.90, 372, let's say. Probably the next destination, 372. Okay, where are we at now? 366.60, let's say, 366.60. We're at the top of the range. Okay, we're holding those high prices from yesterday, which is bullish. Can't look at it any other way. It's bullish. But 367.79 is the 50-day moving average. Okay, something today could happen. Probably is you tap it, right, and you might come back a little to balance, to then fuel the move higher, right? That could happen. Not sure, but it could. All right, let's go on to the triple-headed monster. See how those 10-year yields are looking. We can zoom in on this move here. All right, so look, we're inside last week, right? We're above last month, and yields, you could see, dropped. Boof. Oh wow, that is very interesting. That's very, very interesting. 30, usually when 30-year bonds are being sold, right? And I know it's not the 10-year, this 10-year yield doesn't have to go with 30-year bonds, but usually when 30-year bonds are being sold, like right now they're down to 0.64, but the 10-year, look at that. We closed here and it's gapped down all the way to 4.7, holding last month's highs. If you dip under here, can we go to 4.4? Now this might be due to the Fed speak. All right, the Feds were saying yesterday, I mentioned this earlier, that because yields are so high, they might have to think about really doing another rate hike. So that's a hint that we could be done. I don't know, but look what this just did to the 10-year yield. Pretty significant, okay? Pretty significant. You have to watch 4.6, the yield, okay? Now the VIX, all right, the VIX, you can see made it big. Look, we got resistance here about 20. Let's just say it's 20. Popped above it, right? But we still have a pretty decent VIX at 17. Okay, you can zoom in on this move here. So we're just been holding these volatility. Okay, holding the 200-day moving average. Okay, what are we at in the express chart? We're inside last week. All right, you got the monthly high last month. We're inside last month. So still fear in the market. Okay, let's look at the dollar, and the dollar in that 105.88 level. Okay, so we're going to just zoom in on this move up, maybe even zoom on this move up. Okay, a lot of selling excess on these candles. Selling, 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 right? So 105.88. See how this is being supportive? So that was a big, big level. So if we zoom out, 105.88 is this level. See this resistance, resistance. We broke it, but now we're coming back to it. Can this fuel a push higher? Can we pop off this and go up? Or does this break and we go down on 105.3 or go down to 104.6? I don't know. I really don't know, but you have to keep your eye on those, okay? I think that wraps up that. Okay, so we're going to move on. We're going to move on to my favorite defined structure in this market, right? All right, let's go on to that market profile. All right, let's move over to that, the ES, all right? Got a little range overnight, 14 points, 14.7 points, which is not big, okay? It's not big. Really ugly looking profile here. So I'm gonna like see if I can zoom in here to get a little closer to here. Zoom in here. All right, let's look at this together. And of course, what are we gonna look at? The pro. We're gonna look at the profile. Okay. Now we're starting to build value and volume up here with this distribution here. Okay. So you got a bunch of distributions. Low volume node, which would mean support. Remember my volume profile lesson. Look to the left. We'll draw a line. There's your support and your resistance. Cool, right? You got your balance break. And this right here, that's the low volume node. They give you support and resistance. Okay. So then we have down here the big value. This is where value is. Okay. There's the highlight, value area high. And this is all value area, and this is the value area low. Okay. Price, the most traded price is still down here. Okay. Let's look at that level. That level would be around 42.75. That's the most traded price of the week. Okay. Market needs to prove itself here. So what the market needs to do is hold and shift this volume, which is value, up here. If it could move the most traded price of the week higher to around this area, that's bullish. And if it holds, you're going to get a push higher. Okay. Now, if it can't establish value here, it's going to return to value. That's how that works. Okay, that's why I look at the profile. That's why I look at the most traded price of the week. It's very important. Okay. Now, this is still bullish structure. Here's the most traded price of the week. Actually, the most traded price of the month is now 43.25. That's an important level. Okay, we are above here at price at 43.70, above these levels. This is bullish structure. Don't care about price action. I don't care if we go here and hold and hold and hold. That's bullish. See how structure determines who's winning. I want to be with the winners. Okay. Now, let's look at what happened yesterday. Okay. We opened here. All we did is this low. We held the 50% of the move. And then there was a little games. Held the most traded price of the month. And then we, boom, had single prints, which is emotional buying. And we made the most traded price at the top of the range, which is bullish. Okay, so you have a kind of like a double distribution here, followed by single prints with the most traded price up here, which means people were long up in here. Okay, now what could that mean for today? What could that mean? Okay, let's look at this a little closer because there's something here. I'm going to show you here. Okay, let's go into this a little closer. Don't know who's with me. Maybe we got Colby. Maybe we got the entrepreneur listening. Maybe we haven't seen him in a while. But let's get into this structure for market profile. All right. Now, I don't need this profile to tell me this, but I love this. This tells me single prints, these white boxes, right? So that's emotional buying. See how thin this volume is. Okay. So this is a toothpick. This is the elephant. Now, if this toothpick can hold the elephant up, right? And we only go into these single prints a little bit, and then we get that strong, right? That toothpick's very strong, okay? But a toothpick isn't that strong to hold up an elephant, okay? So if the market does tend to just liquidate a little bit, it's going to clean this out. That toothpick's going to get broke, the elephant's going to fall, and maybe we come down into here to work that off, to get the liquidity here to push the move higher, okay? Now, inventory means nothing right now. We opened here, this is our long, this is our short, okay? We're in the middle of the range, basically. We have a very balanced profile. That doesn't give us any edge, okay? But what's the market telling us? The market's saying, well, we moved up from here with this war. We closed here, okay? And we like these prices. We're accepting these higher prices. So that's bullish, okay? Now what else? We have a poor low right here. It tells me right here it's a poor low. Poor low just means that shorts had bad location. And this is small guys. This is the weak hands in the market. These are not the big boys, okay? So I could see something happen, and usually that gets corrected. That just means that you break apart this and get excess. That could happen before the market opens. It could happen after, okay? So this has a kind of like, it does have a little excess here. So you can see it does, but there is a poor low here. Now I'll show you, I'll break this profile out. All that means is a double bottom in the 30-minute period on a profile. And you'll see it, what I'm talking about. See this right here? I'll zoom in more. It's two TPOs, just 30-minute bars at the same, it's a double bottom. But what that means is usually you break that. Usually if the market comes down, you get a little break, you get excess, and that could fuel the move higher. Okay? Alright, I'm going into a little detail today, but that's okay. Okay, so let's move this down, and let's get into scenarios, because time's a cooking here. Alright? Let's get into it. So, we already know, I said it's a bullish structure, right? So, my style is not to just go, I'm going long if it goes higher, okay? We have a demand zone here. Okay, so the first test, to me, this is what I could see happening, okay? This is what I could see happening. You got the poor low here. You got the double bottom. Okay, so that those longs are susceptible to get broke. Okay, so what I could see possibly happening in the market, we could open, we could push up, get some selling. Okay, start to scare some people here. There's that poor low. I think we could possibly go boop. Okay, this is one possibility. Start working our way into these single prints. Okay, you still have a high here. Okay, from the other day. what I think could possibly happen, okay, is whenever you don't clean single prints out, you don't clean all these out, that's a sign of strength. So let's say we come into here, tap that other day's high, like Friday's high, and we bounce a little bit, start making our way back. Well, what did you do? Now you have liquidity. You have shorts that brought us down here to then rip their faces off to go into this supply zone. And that's the 20-day simple moving average in futures here. Okay, so that's one. The other one is, okay, you open up, you come down, you test the most traded price of yesterday, right? Even if you come down to this, and then if the market starts doing higher low, we're gonna go take out yesterday's highs, take out the overnight high. I'm probably gonna go up to this naked VPOC of 43.90, which is in the past, and that's a supply zone. Okay, now remember, this is bullish as long as we stay above the most traded price of the month. So let's just say we do come down, take the singles out, right? Come down to this demand and hold and hold. That could also fuel the move, okay? Let's talk about bear, all right? If you want to get short this market, that is the short here. This is the poor low. If you're a scalper, okay, it could come up, break the most traded price yesterday, boom, break this demand zone, hold. If you get some really good weakness in volume, you're going to clean out these singles. You're going to clean out the singles. You're going to go to probably this demand zone, possibly down to the most traded price of the month. Okay, of course you can go up higher, hit this supply, come back, and probably balance out to try to make that most traded price of the week move higher. Okay, that's what I see there. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the NASDAQ, okay? All right, so here's the NASDAQ. Let's look at it together. First thing we're going to talk about is the profile. Here's that distribution. Here's another distribution. Here's the low volume node. Look across. Support, resistance, okay? Most traded price of the month and of the week is still at 14870. Where's price? Here, we're above it. That's bullish structure. Bullish structure. All right. So, same thing. We have single prints here. Okay. Here's our overnight session. That is that profile. We can zoom into this. That profile has a very flat top here. It's not a lot of excess at that top. All right. That looks like it wants to get corrected. Okay. So like I said, just like on the ES, the most traded price of the week needs to be able to move up here in order to sustain a move. Okay, let's see if that can happen possibly today. The market doesn't just keep going up. We could balance, right? We could go up, come back down, and balance here. Okay, so I talked about it before in the ES. Pretty similar situation. Okay, all right. Yesterday's high actually was a poor high in the NASDAQ. Poor high here. So this is susceptible already to get boom. Now we have single prints, and see the NASDAQ's just strong and has better structure. Okay, has better structure above. So the NASDAQ is just in a better situation to move higher. Okay, looking at that most traded price of the year right here, 15400. All right, so I'm just going to get right into the scenarios. Okay, it's pretty much the same. I like above us in the NASDAQ because there's single prints and not much in the way. All right. And we have a poor high here. So I like it. You have single prints here that from the emotional buying. Okay. So what's the job of this to happen? You just want to see the NASDAQ defend these single prints. So like I said, we can possibly go up, come back into this single prints. These single prints act as any type of support. We're going to go higher. We're going to correct the poor high and go up probably to these single prints and tap the 50-day moving average on the 50 MA on the daily futures chart, futures daily chart, right, of the Nasdaq. Okay, that's what I can see. Obviously, we can take out these single prints, come back down here, okay, hit this demand zone, and can also do the same thing. That's yet to be seen. Okay, now bearish. All right, there's not supply above us. There is a 50-day moving average on the dailies. There is the 100-day moving average. There is the most traded price of the year up above us, though. That's way above us, though. Okay, so I don't really like the short, to me, unless we hit this, fail, maybe you roll over and balance. Okay, but you do have this. So not that I don't like the short. I mean, from the above, I don't like the short. Okay, but for here, what could happen is you need it to come down here and really rip these singles out. And it's going to be fast. That's not an easy trade, but we can rip these singles out. Okay, go back down here and then probably catch a bid and balance out. But that's what I see. Okay, I like this. I like the long in the Nasdaq better than the SPY. All right, or the ES. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the content. Subscribe, set an alert, be much appreciated. Also, send me a like, not send me a like, hit me a like, smash that like if you like what you saw. Okay, you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. And that's it, everybody. All right, hope everybody has a good day, stay green, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.